best college in the world is going to work in the field, doing what you want to do. Learn from the bottom up. And then when you have that knowledge, then you're able to go out and start your own. Money doesn't make you happy. Money doesn't make you happy. And having peace, and the poor guy, he had peace, and he had joy, and he had happiness. He just didn't have all of the riches, and the other guy wanted that, in his life, but couldn't get it. No one is obligated to fulfill your expectations. And I live by that. And you have to know that because you expect people to do things, it doesn't mean that they're going to do it. And and that means that accept people for what they bring. If they're bringing drama and you accept that drama, then know you're going to always get drama out of them. So nobody is obligated to fulfill your expectations. We can't live based on expectations. You got to live on what's real. And that comes when you're honest with yourself.
All right. Good morning, Savannah, and welcome to the Savannah Business Showcase. I'm your host, Taraz, and I'm here this morning with Ree Williams. Ree is the creator of ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs, which is an online business building membership designed to support women entrepreneurs on all levels. Ree is also a small business development expert, project consultant, and expert business coach. All right, so Ree, before I let you tell about yourself, outside of that little bio, I have a scenario that I like to start out all my entrepreneurs with, all my interviews with now.
Okay.
Because the purpose of the show is to inspire, motivate, and encourage entrepreneurs who are sitting on the sidelines and are afraid to jump into business. So, so I'll start with this. Okay, here's the scenario. You're walking through your neighborhood, and a little kid comes up to you and says, "Ree, you're my hero. I love you, and I want to be like you when I grow up." So in language that a 10 or 12-year-old can understand, what does it take to be Ree Williams?
Ooh, what does it take to be Ree Williams? A whole lot, a whole lot. If any child said that to me, what I would say, of course, I want them to, of course, embrace their own individuality. But to do what I do, to do the work that Ree Williams does, a child would have to understand that you will have to do good in school. You have to pay attention in school. You have to be a learner. You have to be a reader. You have to make good choices. And you have to be a leader of yourself first. And if you can't get any of that down, then you won't be able to do what Ree Williams does. Because doing what I do, you have to be a leader, and you have to be very, very educated.
That's good. Okay. Okay, so tell us about yourself. Where are you from? How'd you get to Savannah? All that good stuff.
Okay, well, I am from Indiana, and got all the way around the country through the United States Navy. I was in the Navy, and ended up in California, where I met Prince Charming, and we lived there and decided to move to South Carolina in 2014. Okay. And so we've been here ever since, and doing what I do as a business coach, a business development expert. I can do that all over the world. So my clients are primarily through Skype and online, and I'm able to service them that way. But also now really kind of just getting connected to the Savannah community, to the Low Country community, and meeting women who are out here doing their own thing and taking control of their destiny. So I'm kind of enjoying my move and my transition. Yeah, finally getting my feet wet.
All right, so how did you get into entrepreneurship, and what did you do before?
Before, of course, the Navy. And then when I left the Navy, I started to work just in regular business, admin jobs, HR, administrators. And then I left corporate America, got tired of corporate America, and started working for someone who had a small business. And this was about 95, 94. And he was he had been in the Navy, and he started an electrical company.
Okay.
And I noticed, I'm like, okay, so you not really have a lot of customers. Kind of how are you getting your customers? He really didn't know how to answer that. And really, I started marketing. I said, you know what? Let's start telling people who you are. Let's create a marketing packet, and let's get that packet in the hands of people who have businesses and so that you can be able to provide them with electrical support. And we started sending out those marketing packets, and that's when the light went off. It's like, you know what, I'm good at this thing called marketing. And I started really focusing on small business, and I started watching how people moved in small business and how small businesses were structured, and the ability for small businesses to grow. Because it's tough when you are a small business, especially if you're construction, electrical, HVAC, and that's kind of where it all started in those fields.
Okay.
And I got connected with the SBA, and then that opened up just a whole world of information. And I started to go, okay. And so then, you know, they were like, you know what, you did really good for us. And so we have somebody who wants you to kind of work with them. And that was the spark.
That was it.
Yeah.
That's awesome, because you just took the initiative and then everything started.
Yeah. I had the knowledge. I wasn't concerned that I didn't have the knowledge of marketing. I knew the concept of marketing, but all of the information that goes with small business and the opportunities that small businesses have and how to structure them, then all of that came just through getting in and being connected with the SBA, being connected with contracting opportunity centers that were in San Diego, and just learning, networking, talking to people, asking questions, never afraid to ask questions. And so it just all built from there. And here I am today.
Okay. So I've met with, I've spoken to interview Emma Smith. I've interviewed a lot of just Jules Loves of JulesLoves.me. I've interviewed them, and they're just brilliant women. So why the niche of women? I mean, that's probably a dumb question, but I want you to answer. I want you to answer it anyway. So, but why?
No, it's not a dumb question. It's a cool question, because we as women are very dynamic. We have a lot happening. And a lot of times as women, the dreams that we have to take control of our own destiny are oftentimes smothered under other people's expectations of us. Marriage, children, working, believing that we should just kind of go with the flow and go to work. And even sometimes our families. And it's not anything that's done maliciously, but your parents will tell you things because that's just what they know. And you grow up as a woman, especially in America, believing that there's a certain journey that you're supposed to take, which is school and maybe college and marriage and children and happily ever after. And there's a lot of talented women out there who want to take control of their destiny. They don't want to be cookie cutter. They don't want to work a 9 to 5. And they're creative, and they have great concepts and ideas. And I decided to work with women because as a woman, I wanted to be around other women who could fuel me and get and excite me. And I knew that there was an audience, but there just wasn't an arena, a forum for them to be in. And this is why I started to really work with women, bringing women together. And that's hence started ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs in the pink, because I wanted to create that for women, because there's a lot of women out there who are, in my opinion, struggling on a 9 to 5 and have the talented, creative, and they just are afraid to take that leap, and they don't know how to structure their business. So hence Coach Ree.
That's also, I mean, it is something powerful about having all women or all men together, because it's a different kind of energy that happens once you bring the both sexes together. Right. The men don't really say what they want to say, and the women start acting a different way. You know what I mean? When it's just men together versus when it's just women together. So it does make a lot of sense.
Sometimes you need that in the foundation and the structuring period of a business, because as women, and this doesn't nothing against women, but sometimes women are not as comfortable in the company of strange men, and sometimes women, we have to build ourselves up to believe in ourselves and know that the knowledge that we have, the information that we have, that we can speak that information, and we have to be bold. And sometimes you become emboldened when you are around your own peers before you can jump out and go, okay, I'm gonna speak to everybody. And I have men that I coach, but it's not on the numbers of the women. Right. But men find their way in there.
Yeah, and I can see why. Your voice has a power to it. It has a vibrancy to it. So that's awesome. I can see why. So I started following you on social media. You put out a lot of content. Sometimes it's wild, out of left field. Sometimes it's exactly what you need to hear. Right. But so what's your philosophy on social media?
I like social media for people who want to start a business, whether it's online or offline. But I want entrepreneurs to know that social media is a tool. It is not your get-rich-quick magic carpet ride to success. It is a tool that you have to know how to utilize, and you have to be able to be yourself on social media. A lot of times, people show up on social media, and depending on what day of the week, that's what personality you're going to get.
Right.
For me, I'm always telling entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs especially, be yourself. Be yourself. Anybody who does not like you or vibe with you, that's not your customer. That they're not part of your segment, and you're not going to be able to be, liked by everybody. That's just not the way of the world. But you want to use it. You want to implement it. You want to know. And you have to have that voice. You have to know what you need to say on social media. Everybody's saying something, and you can't duplicate. I don't want to, because a lot of times people get on social media and they see somebody doing something and they'll go, well, I'll just kind of duplicate them. Well, that's not authentic. So you can't duplicate anybody else for your unique idea or concept, your audience, because they need to hear your voice.
Right.
They have because your products and services that you create. A lot of entrepreneurs don't realize this, but the products and services that you create for your business, they have the essence of your personality, and your personality is unique. So you then cannot duplicate somebody else's voice and put it onto your uniqueness. It's not going to work. But people need to know that social media is a phenomenal tool. The best tool that probably we've ever had to implement into our business building as entrepreneurs, but it is not. You got to do some more work with the social media.
Got you.
Okay.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. So a question from me.
Okay.
Selfish question, right? Because I understand social media, but I just don't like putting my whole life out there. Like, so how much personality do I put? Because I'll say this, we just bought a new house. Okay. And it's a nice house coming from where I come from. We're like a little pond. They got a nice little picket fence and everything. But do I stunt? Or do I put it out there? Or do I just stay private? So what do you suggest doing?
It's based on you. Now, for me, my personality is I am very bold. I am 100% real, and that's why my audience and my community really gravitates to me. Is because for people, they're like, you're a breath of fresh air, Coach Ree, but I can't be anything but myself. So if you want to put your house out there, let everybody know, hey, I got a new house, and we got a pond.
Right.
It's celebration. And this is one of the new ways that we get information, we get news, we communicate. And you have to feel good about what you're putting out there. And at the same time, you have to know why you're apprehensive about putting things out there. What is it about? Because you probably told all your friends on the phone, hey man, we got this new house and we got a pond in the backyard. So what is it about social media that now gives you an apprehension on sharing that with a community of people who are surrounded around you via social media, who there's obviously a reason why they're there on your social media. So you have to kind of figure, well, what is it about sharing this on social media that makes me apprehensive? You think it's going to turn people away? You know how they say the haters. Are the haters going to be like, oh, so what? He got a new house, big deal, and people will do that.
Now that you asked that, I'm pretty sure it's because I'm vain.
Okay.
I'm being honest, I'm vain. And if I put it out there, I'll get 2 likes. I'm going to be upset.
Okay. I get it.
You know what I mean?
Get it.
I want thousands of likes on my new house.
And that is so authentic.
Yeah.
That's authentic and that's real.
Yeah.
And we all feel that. And I know I feel, I'm like, this was a great post. And only 3 people liked it.
Right.
Maybe I should repost it. Maybe people were at work or they were asleep. And you do feel that. And those are the mechanisms that are in social media that are, I think, the experimental mechanisms where we want 275 likes on every single thing we post. We want 600 people on our Facebook live stream.
Right.
But sometimes 3 people show up and you're like, okay, where's everybody? But you keep talking and you keep moving and you keep going. So yeah, you got to get over this. Put it out there.
Just put it out there. You're probably right.
Yeah,
you're
just
right.
Put it out there and just be authentic. If you want to share your house, I'm I'm like I said, a little bold, and I'm out there, and I share my husband, I share my children, I share funny things. A lot of times I'm sharing things almost like a mother figure, where it's kind of like cautionary post, or stop doing this, let's get this, let's do this. Very, very, very open, and very direct. But that's my personality. And I'll be honest with you, when I first showed up on social media in about 2010, I was really late coming on, because I kept saying, I don't want to get on Facebook. I thought it was like MySpace. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't have time for that. I'm busy. And then when I get on, I'm like, I didn't really know how to use, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, well, let me just talk and just, but you got to realize that typing and talking, when people don't know you and they don't understand your tone, or they don't understand your personality, they're like, what is happening? And then you respond, oh my goodness. But I like social media. Everybody has to determine, though, how they're going to utilize it and how they're going to put themselves out there. I'm just an open book, like a store. I'm a business. Right. So come on in, it's public.
Right. Yeah. And you're right. You do have to use it like a tool, because it's so easy to get addicted to the likes and the scrolling and all this stuff. Yeah.
You kind of got to get over that and just put it out there. And sometimes, but when you work with a coach like me, I'm going to teach you how to use those likes, even if it's 2. I'm going to teach you how to use them. I'm going to tell you what they mean, so that you now better understand numbers, because we're looking for big numbers on social media. It's not about the big numbers. It's about the number. And once you learn the number, and now you might post in a house and you're not trying to sell the house. So that'll work a little different. That is a little vanity. So you're like, I want somebody like these. Right. I got a pond in the back. All right. But when you're posting business links and calls to action, and you get to, there's something that you can do with those 2. So personal and business, they have to, they're a little different. They're a little different.
Okay. So let's take a step back and tell us a little bit more about ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs and the coaching that you do.
Okay. Well, ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs came, originally the organization that I founded was In the Pink. Okay. If you go to the website, it says In the Pink, we're remarkable too. Okay. Because we added ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs.
Okay. And everybody out there is spelled REE for ReeMarkable.
Right. And Mark.
And Mark. Okay, now I got it. That's why the M's capitalized.
That's right. Okay. That's why we're ReeMarkable. Okay. So we started to use ReeMarkable, just playing with our between us. Oh, remarkable.
And for everybody, her husband's in the studio as well. Yeah. So that's.
And so then I said, wow, ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs, and I started posting that around 2014, I think. ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs, and it was just a thing. It wasn't, I hadn't created anything out of it. I hadn't created any product from it. I was just saying, hey, ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs, and people started to catch on. And then they started to go, why is it ReeMarkable? Why does it look like that? And I said, well, my name is Ree, and my husband's name is Mark, and God made us remarkable. And then people started going, oh, you got to do something with that. Like you have to just create something. And so I created ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs. I started, I created an organization for women who needed to have the input of a business coach, but really probably couldn't afford maybe one-on-one coaching. Because one-on-one coaching, it can be pricey. So I said, well, I want to be able to create a forum where women from all over the world could have access to Coach Ree and getting information from Coach Ree. And the way there's 5 levels, and you choose whichever level you want to have membership. And depending on your level, it depends on the interaction. So level 1, you're simply receiving the newsletter and the Monday motivational post, the email that I send out every Monday. And then if you go all at level 5, then of course you have more interaction with me. But you're getting monthly modules, you're getting accountability check-ins, and some of them, if they're level 5, they're getting coaching quarterly. They're getting website reviews and assessments. So there's a lot that goes on in this aside. So they're able to get Coach Ree, get some information from Coach Ree, and not break their bank. Everybody can't afford one-on-one coaching. So ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs.
Okay. What type of women come to see you most, or like what stage are they in their business?
I get women from all stages. I'd say maybe 60% of the women that I work with are probably in startup. Okay. They're probably in startup. They've started their business already. but they have not connected their brand to any buyers. And as we know, if you don't have buyers, you don't have a brand, and you don't have a business. You stay in startup until somebody buys something from you. And so it's about 60% are startup, and then I have some people who have done some work, but they've hit a brick wall and they don't know how to up level. And then I have people who have been rocking and rolling, but they need to up level in a big way. So then we get that structure for all people. I can work with any business, no matter where you are, no matter what level you are, no matter what level of knowledge you have, as long as you have focus and commitment and dedication, and you're willing to do the work, I'm with you.
Okay, so who was your mentor? Who's your coach?
Well, my mentor, and that really got me started, and she probably won't ever hear this, so she won't ever have to know that I said this, but a lady named Aldrika Lattimore.
Okay.
Is really, she's a businesswoman, brilliant, just very methodical in how she scaled her business. And I had the pleasure to work with her, and she was like my direct supervisor, and I watched her build this business and the things that we worked on together to get this business from basically a mom and pop to a 10 million plus business every year. It's a contracting, electrical contracting company. But I watched her make connections with bankers, and we went through the bonding process, and that's a really huge process for anybody in construction. It's difficult to get this ball. Yeah, it's very difficult to get bonding. And we went through the protege program with SBA, the 8A program, and was able to then become a protege of a larger corporation. And then just watching them grow and watching her work, and watching her gain respect in this industry as a woman of color. Yeah. Being in construction is not very colorful.
Right. Yeah.
It's not. And so to watch this black woman come in here and really build this business, $10 million is nothing to sneeze at. When you start off mom and pop, just servicing people's air conditioners in their houses, and now where the federal government is your chief client. So I would have to say, watching her really push me out on my own.
Gotcha. Got you. Okay, and that's the same lady that you helped her with marketing from the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, it was originally her brother.
Okay.
And then she stepped in and started to really make things happen, and I was like, okay, this is kind of what I want to be a part of. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so we got a few more minutes before we take a break. So tell me about ReeMarkable dolls, because I've seen that. I've seen that on your social media. So tell me about that.
That's crazy. I am a Barbie collector.
Okay. Okay.
So ReeMarkable dolls. I have a Facebook page, and I do a lot of different scenes with the dolls, and I post them sometimes. And the women, they get a kick out of that, because it's kind of like takes them back to their childhood. And some of the things that the scenes that I make, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe you created that. But yeah, it's just a hobby.
Gotcha.
It's a way to relax after either a long day or a long week. I'm actually getting a new dollhouse today.
Oh, nice.
Yay me.
All right.
But yeah, that's it.
Have you ever told a story with them, from week
to
week? You ever thought about doing that?
I did. I originally did that. I tried, but that's a lot of work.
I bet it is.
To tell a story is like, my hat's off to anybody working in television, comics, anything that you have to continue to, because you have to stage and you have to photograph, and I'm like, I need to get paid for this, but it's a lot of work. So yeah, I try, but
it's just something you do for fun.
Yeah, definitely something I do for fun.
Okay, because at first I saw it, I thought it was like a doll of color that you created.
Oh God, no, I wish. No, it's just ReeMarkable doll, so that I can utilize it and don't have to use Barbie and get into any entanglement with them.
Got you. Okay, all right. What's something else? Another thing I saw on your social media one time, you got something in Walmart, right? Didn't you have did you have a product to get into Walmart or to get on the shelves of Walmart?
Oh, no. What's happening is we're doing an event in Savannah in January.
Okay.
And we're going to be having someone come in and teach women or tell women about how to get their products on the shelves of Walmart.
Okay.
And so we're doing a 2-day retreat for women entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And so that's going to be part of it.
Awesome.
Where they'll be able to do that. SBA will come in, and some other people will come in, and we'll get them information so they can build and confidently move.
Yeah, that's what the power is, in information and what you know and wisdom.
Yes, it is. And once you're confident as a business owner And this is one of the reasons why I like working with women, and not because they're not confident, but because we're able to get together and share insight, experience, information, and we're able to learn and grow. And when you're confident, you move differently.
Mm-hmm.
If you lack information as an entrepreneur, you're going to be intrepid about going out
Mm-hmm.
and talking to people or sharing your business. But when you're confident, nobody can stop you.
Right.
Nobody can stop you.
Right. Is there anything else I missed that you want to share, talk about before we take a break?
No, you're doing good. I'm like, how you get all this information?
Because you're bold on social media. That's how I
There
got
you
it. Let's see if I forgot anything. Were you an entrepreneurial kid?
I was a leader.
Mm.
I wasn't really an entrepreneurial kid. I knew that what I did know is that I knew that I had a personality where I needed to be in charge. And I didn't really like people talking to me a lot, telling me, like, you tell me once, I got it. And I didn't like my personality. I'm not that cubicle personality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that personality that I don't like to get up early in the morning. So I knew all of these things growing up. And then as I grew up, they all started to clash and go, see, this is not where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be out here doing your own thing. But I worked and I built up my confidence. I built up my knowledge. And I do believe, honestly, the time that I left, it was the time that I was supposed to leave and start my own business. Yeah.
Got you. Okay. All right. Well, what we'll do is we'll take a quick break and we'll come back with the lightning round.
Okay.
All right. You ready for it?
I am.
All right. Once again, I'm here with Ree Williams of ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs and also InThePink.net.
Yes.
.net. Okay. Awesome. All right. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back in just a second. All right, Savannah, welcome back to the Savannah Business Showcase. Once again, it's Therese, here your host, and I'm here with Ree Williams, the founder of ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs and InThePink.net. And we're going to put her through the lightning round. All right, Ree, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. What did you want to be as a kid, and how does that relate to your current business?
When I was a child, I wanted to be a teacher. And I thought I was going to be a teacher by conventional sense of working in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
But I am a teacher. I'm a business coach. I teach women and men how to start and build sustainable businesses.
How have you approached failure in life?
Whew, horrible. You have to grow into understanding failure.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, at this stage in my life, failure is always something that can teach me something, lets me know that I'm moving, because if you don't move, you can't fall. So I learn just how to get better.
I like that. If you don't move, you can't fall.
That's right.
Who influenced you early in life, and who's your mentor now?
Who influenced me early in life? Early in life, I don't think there was anybody early in life who really influenced me to do what I do. It was just to be a good person and be a kind person, which was my stepfather, who really just was a good person, a kind person, a loving person. And then as I grew, I've had quite a few. I've had people in the Navy that touched my life. I had my pastor that touched my life. My big sister has been an example. I've always been surrounded by good people, really. I don't seek trouble. So I've always been careful about the people that I'm around. So I've had really good people around me. My siblings, my brother, one of my brother who's passed away now, but he was a business mind, and that really that go-getter in him. We were always competitive, with each other. Who's gonna be richer? Who's gonna do better?
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been blessed to have good people just all around me.
Yeah.
That have been a good influence.
Yeah, and that's the thing I like most about entrepreneurship, more than freedom and making your own schedule, is that you can choose who you work with.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're on a job, you can't. Yeah. Okay. Advice for new entrepreneurs.
My advice for new entrepreneurs is focus on the build. Focus on the build. It's not a race. It's a business building journey. Nobody's going to get your rewards. Focus on the build, because once you know the build, then you can continue to build. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Tell me a story about a failure.
Let me see if I got any failure stories. Let me get this a lightning round. So let me go with the lightning. A story about a failure. Well, you know what? This is a story from when I was in the Navy. And I'm very headstrong. And I recognized foolishness. And so this was a failure because I didn't handle it right. So there was a gentleman in the Navy. He was really giving me a hard time. I mean, a real hard time. And I ended up having a conversation with him that should never have been had. That was when I tell you it was a huge failure, it was huge. I should have really used my resources around me to help me with the situation, because the conversation didn't go good. And it wasn't, it ended up not being professional. And it got crazy. So that taught me how not to approach toxic situations and how to kind of maybe use mediators when there's an issue. And so I learned from that you can't fight fire with fire, because you're going to get a bigger fire. And chances are, in a big fire, you get burned. Yeah.
And that does relate back to entrepreneurship, because you're going to have those types of clients and partners and stuff that you're going to butt heads with like that. Right. So for an entrepreneur who's in your shoes, who's listening to this and is about to go through a failure similar to that, or, confrontation similar, what advice do you have for them?
I would really say try, if there's a confrontational situation, we have so much technology now, so we don't have to go face to face immediately. I would pick up the phone. If there's a misunderstanding or something that you want to get clear on because it's rubbing you the wrong way, I would pick up the phone and I simply would say, I'm feeling kind of way about something you said, or something that you did, or maybe I saw you said this about me in the email. I'm not understanding. Pick up the phone. Maybe if you don't want to pick up the phone, email is great. Send an email and ask them, hey, I would love to get on the phone with you and talk about this. But going direct to people, especially when they're already volatile, no matter how calm you come, they're not going to respond, especially if you guys don't like each other. Everybody's on defense. So I would use my technology. I would inbox, email, I would text, I would call, because those are the buffers. Yeah. And sometimes we need the buffers, in between us for people to calm down. And if all else fails, get a middle person. Yeah. To sit at the table with you guys. And that way everybody's, it's kind of like a referee. You can hear them, they can hear you, they can speak, you can speak. Because, everybody who has something to say just wants to get what they want to say out. And a lot of times we don't listen to other people. So we got to be careful.
How did you get your first client?
You know how I got my first client? I got my first client from Craigslist.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
I did. I got my first client from Craigslist. She was a small business owner. She's looking for some structural support, and really help her kind of seal the deal on a lot of things. She needed organization, and I got her from a very, very good client. Yeah. Got her from Craigslist. But this was, a little while ago. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. God, yes. I have 2 sisters, and I have 3 brothers.
Okay. Yeah. Big family. Yeah. We talked about this during the break. You do have kids.
I do.
What did you teach your children about entrepreneurship?
I taught my children about entrepreneurship that you have to know what you're doing. So I teach my children is you got to work for somebody else before you try to work for yourself. A lot of times you use the work as a training ground. Best college in the world is going to work in the field doing what you want to do. Learn from the bottom up. And then when you have that knowledge, then you're able to go out and start your own. But sometimes trying to start your own, it can be expensive. And you don't want to stumble trying to learn how to be a business owner, doing what you claim you love, because it can be pricey. So if you're able to work for somebody and learn the business and work for somebody else. And sometimes working with other people, it helps you. It kind of frames your way of thinking. It teaches you about working with people, because as business owners, you're going to have to work with other people, working with vendors, partnering with other people. So working with people teaches you a lot about how to work with people. Right. It's trust me, big deal.
What's one thing in your business that drains you of energy, and what's one thing that excites you?
Coaching drains me.
Okay.
Coaching drains me.
Yeah.
Coaching is it does, because you're talking for up to an hour, maybe even an hour and a half, and you're just so if you do that back to back 3 times in a row, at the end of the day, it can drain you. But in really, what drains me really about business is the fact that everybody thinks that they are supposed to be rich when they start a business. And it's kind of like, no, you got to build it first, right? And then they'll come. And what excites me is coaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Coaching excites me. To being able to partner with entrepreneurs and teaching them about business, learning about them, learning about their ideals, learning about their hopes and their dreams, and being able to help them frame it all so that it's scalable, so that it makes sense, so that they're able to do what they want, which is take control of their destiny, their time, their money, to really see them. It excites me when they get jobs or contracts or deals. I love it. And when the light bulb goes off, when they start to really learn and start to really see and embrace the journey, that excites me.
What's something that you consume religiously? Could be like a blog, TV show, YouTube, podcast.
Something that I consume religiously is
Should I let your
Good
husband?
Times.
Should I let your husband answer this one?
No, the show Good Times.
Good Times, really? Okay.
Constantly. I got it on DVD. I just love that show religiously, like seriously. Martin and Good Times.
Martin was great.
You
Martin,
know.
I think Martin still holds up. I think it's still really
I
funny.
watch it every day. I love it. That's it. Religiously, that is it.
Okay. Why Good Times? Why do you like Good Times
I just
so
love
much?
Good Times. You know why I love Good Times? Because I grew up poor. I really did. And I just kind of like staying, that keeps me in touch with, look how far I've come, but don't forget where you come from, and just to see Good Times in action, see that father working, that mother holding down the house and the kids growing. That's just my life. That's my life on screen.
What's something most people don't know about you?
Ooh, that I'm shy. Most people don't know that I'm shy. They would never even guess it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
I am.
Okay. So do you consider yourself an introvert?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I'm actually shy I'm shy in situations that I don't really control. But like if I'm business, then I'm live streaming all the time. But I control that situation. But I lay back, and just like everybody else, I have twinges of self-doubt, when I'm in a foreign environment. Yeah. But once I get used to that environment, then we're family,
Makes a lot of sense. What was the last experience that made you a stronger person?
The last experience that made me stronger, has to been when my brother died. Unexpected, 50 years old. And I had to then be strong for my sisters because they were really I'm like that sibling that's in the middle, that's that glue, and all the other siblings migrate around. And I watched my older sister and my younger sister, I kind of listened to them, and I was hearing some things, so I had to kind of get strong so that I wanted to make sure that they were okay. And so that kind of made me get a little bit more strength. And not that I didn't miss them too, but they're a different personality than me. I kind of give people when they're alive, and I lean towards that positive, those memories. We were good. God is good. Yeah. Now here's this next level, and we got to have faith and go through it. They were going through some different things, and so I got strong, and I was able to really talk to them and just be there for them, and you have to be strong to do that.
Yeah, you do.
Know? Yeah.
Definitely do. I'm sorry to hear about your brother.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, definitely like for some reason my mom took me to a lot of funerals growing up.
Ooh.
And it's like I know I went to more funerals than weddings.
Oh,
but
wow.
But it was just a part of it, because she was showing support for the people that she loved. And the families that she loved, so she was there for them.
Right,
and
that strength.
I had to be there too.
Right.
And it I don't know, it just made me realize that death is just a part of life. Like you don't have to fear it.
Right, you don't. And you have to be good to people while they're alive, because you never know the day. And my brother and I had a really great relationship, and I was so happy that he had come to San Diego for Christmas that year before. And so it was really cool that I was like, good, we had that time to be together. But we talked all the time, and he was really busy guy. But I knew they would be in that position because their personality is different than mine.
What was the best or worst gift you've ever received?
I'm gonna tell you the best gift
Okay.
that I've ever received. It was from my husband. It was our first Christmas, and my husband gave me a Batman DVD.
Okay. Which one?
It's an old Batman.
I love all Batman.
And,
which one? Like the one with
It's the one where he had to have the shark repellent. The shark
Yeah.
was grabbing his leg.
They were hanging off the helicopter. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes,
I love Batman.
That's it. And he knew that when we first started dating, I had said, I love Batman, and I just used to watch it all the time as a kid. And,
Yeah.
you know, for him to grab the movie, you know, and remember that, I thought that was great. And when he gave it to me, I started crying. And he had all these other gifts, a bracelet and all, and I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe you remember that. It was just the fact that was just in trust me, a conversation that was not more than 5 minutes, but he remembered that. And I thought that was so sweet. And I still got the DVD today. I think we watched it a couple times, but we crack up because that's our favorite part.
Yeah.
When he has to reach his belt to get his shark repellent.
He's got to beat him off. The shark looks so fake when you look back at it.
I know we sit and watch it and we like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. But when you're a little kid,
Yeah.
Batman is everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay. What do you miss most about being a kid?
What I miss most is just my siblings, the kids in the hood, you know, waking up in the summer, going outside and just playing with your friends, you know. That was the best time. And just being on the block. You know, I really, my husband and I talk about that all the time, you know, because he kind of grew up in Chicago, West Side, same thing. Just kids, you know, we had neighborhoods when I was growing up, and you didn't have to go far to find your friends. You walk out the door and you can, they're there, and we just hung out. That's the part. If I could bottle that up and take that with me, that is that feeling of hanging out with your friends, being in the neighborhood. I miss that more than anything.
What story does your family always tell about you?
They tell a story about when I was about 3. And in our family, it was a custom to wake up at midnight to do Christmas, midnight. And they were trying to wake me up. And they were like, come on, Santa Claus is here. And I was like, I don't give a... And I was 3. And that is the story that they laugh about that all the time. And that's what you'll hear. They'll tell you that story.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Okay, all right. Well, few more. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book, by hands down, is Tale of Two Cities.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my favorite book.
Okay, that's a classic. Why do you like that book?
You know, I read the book and I thought it was just really. It was interesting to see these two guys. They look alike, and to see this one guy who's rich and aristocratic, and this poor peasant, and then in the end, this peasant was able to put himself in this place because of the rich guy. The rich guy actually gave up his place for this guy because they looked so much like nobody never knew who they were.
Yeah.
I think the woman did.
Gotcha.
But to see that flip, how this rich guy ended up just giving up his life for this guy who was a good guy. It just he was poor.
Yeah.
You know, you can't find. And then I learned that money doesn't make you happy. Money doesn't make you happy, and having peace. And the poor guy, he had peace, and he had joy, and he had happiness. You know, he just didn't have all of the riches, and the other guy wanted that, in his life, but couldn't get it, and was then traded places with the poor guy. I thought that story was just amazing.
So there's a concept called Pareto's Principle, the 80-20 rule. 20% of your actions equal 80% of your results. So in your business, and in thepink.net and in ReeMarkable Women Entrepreneurs, what is the 20% of actions you take that get you the most results?
20% of, I would say, consistency. Really, being consistent, showing up, staying consistent, staying available, staying in front, engaging my audience, is what gets me 80% of my return. And if you're not consistent, you're not going to cash in.
Do you feel that your business is your life's calling?
I do. Yes, without a shadow of a doubt, I do. I believe that I've always wanted to be a teacher. I knew I was always a leader. And I used to think, in my early 20s, like, I want to be a teacher. How come all my friends are in college and I wanted to be a teacher? And, I am a teacher. Yeah. I just had to go a different route to become a teacher, but I teach. And this is my calling, to teach. I enjoy teaching, and I'm a born leader. I'm a born leader. I've always known that. But this is my calling without a shadow of a doubt.
Is there a quote that's always been a mantra that you live by?
Yes, there is a quote, and it's actually my quote. And the quote is, no one is obligated to fulfill your expectations. And I live by that. And you have to know that because you expect people to do things, it doesn't mean that they're going to do it. And when you know, and that means that accept people for what they bring. If they're bringing drama and you accept that drama, then know you're going to always get drama out of them. So nobody is obligated to fulfill your expectations. We can't live based on expectations. You got to live on what's real. And when that comes when you're honest with yourself, in all aspects of your life, relationships, business partnerships, business dealings, children. Even your children can't live up to your expectations. They're going to be who they are going to be. Right. And you have to accept people for who they are. You live a better life like that. Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah. I think that's the reason so many marriages end in divorce, is because people aren't living, they're trying to expecting somebody else to
fulfill them and do what they say. And right. They got to be their own person. And but if you know, and we know, when you sleep, when you're intimate with somebody and that close with them, you know who they are. You see who they are. Yeah. And if you accept them, then you know that is going to be with them. So if they grind their teeth when they eat, and you think it's going to change because you get married, it's going to escalate.
You're right. Yeah.
Got to accept people for who they are.
That's right. 2 more.
Okay.
If you had a superpower or ability, what would you choose and why?
If I had a superpower, I would choose to be. I would be like the fixer. And the one thing I would fix is childhood hunger in the world. That's what I would fix.
Okay, last one. Advice for entrepreneurial kids and their parents.
Ooh, entrepreneurial kids. Cute does not last. A lot of times you see entrepreneurial kids and they're really cute, but you grow up and people start to see you differently. So if you have a child and they have a business idea or concept, make sure that it's real, make sure that they're passionate about it, and make sure that they're always learning. Just because you're a kid doesn't mean you can't learn. You can go to networking events as a kid. You can go to workshops as a kid. You just have to be, and you got to make sure that they're dedicated to it, and it's not mom and dad pushing them into this because they're a cute kid.
Right.
Make sure that they understand the business. While they can't get into contracts right now by themselves, they're going to come a day when they can. And build the business. If you start off as a kid, build the business. Now, I know a lot of kids. The one that comes to mind is Mo. He has Mo's bows, the bow ties. This kid is making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. But he's like this little 12-year-old kid who liked to sew, started making bow ties.
Wow, okay.
Now that I think they're in Macy's and other stores, he's really a business owner, making hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think he partnered with, he was in the Shark Tank a couple years ago. I think he partnered with Damon John.
Okay.
And his bows are doing good. Then I've seen other kids doing things, and I think it was simply the cute kid syndrome. They're not real about it. They're not serious about it. Parents are just putting them out there because they want to sell candles or whatever, but you have to, after a while, cute kid wears off.
Really? Okay. All right. Great advice. So how can people find you? Thank you for being on the show, but how can people find you? How can they reach out to you?
You can find me on Facebook at Ree Williams, and you can find me on Twitter at I am Coach Ree. You can also find me on Instagram, I am Coach Ree. Also, you can hit me up on the website, easy, www.remarkablewomenoentrepreneurs.com, or you can take the shortcut and go intopink.net. And Pink is PINC.
Awesome. All right, thank you, Ree, for being on the show.
Thank you for
I really
having me.
appreciate it. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. As always, be the change you want to see in the world. You can change somebody's life that just lives right down the street from you today. You don't have to go and do anything major or become a millionaire just to change somebody's life. So go out, do something impactful, do something big for your community. All right, love you guys. Talk to you next time.